Hi, this is Dr. Cindy Woody from the University of Texas at Arlington. Today we're going to be taking a look at how to prepare for the TExES 268 exam, which is the Principal as Instructional Leader test. This one is the one that we need to take in conjunction with the PASL exam to be able to become a certified principal in the state of Texas. So let's begin by looking at the preparation materials provided for the TExES 268 for free on the Pearson website. So let's scroll down here. So this is the TExES Educator certification page. I'm looking at the 268 preparation materials, and I'm going to start by looking at the TExES 268 manual just for a moment and talk about the purposes of the manual. So if you haven't gone through the manual, I encourage you to do this. This is a self-study process. I'm going to take a brief look at it with you today. We've already made another video where we went through the manual for the PASL exam, but today we're going to look at the one for the 268. So here are the reflective questions to help you know if you're ready to take this exam. So the questions are: what areas of the domains and competencies do you feel are your strengths? What areas of the framework do you need to focus on to ensure that you're well prepared? Well, if you don't know the domains and competencies yet to be able to articulate the answer to this question, then you probably are not ready to take the exam. So you need to begin by going back through the TExES Principal Certification Standards and look at the domains and competencies. If you've been in our program very long, you've been doing that all along as you've logged your practicum experiences, because we expect you to study those standards and competencies and identify which ones you're demonstrating each time that you log an activity on your log. There's a reason for that. It's so that you will become very familiar with those standards. Okay, so the next question is, how can you use the practice questions in this manual to get a sense of the rigor and the context you can expect on the exam? We'll be working on those practice tests in this video and in upcoming videos to help you understand how these questions relate to the actual questions that you will be taking in your measurement of your readiness to be a principal. The next question is, how can you maximize the instructional experiences provided by your preparation program to obtain the knowledge and skills needed in each domain and competency? What additional reading and professional activities should you pursue? So we have restructured our program to align with this exam and to make sure that all of the competencies are covered in the program, and also that you experience all the competencies in your experiences in the field. But remember, the last question there says, what additional reading and professional activities should you pursue? So each of us enters this program with a different set of background knowledge and skills. So you may have come in as maybe a second-year teacher, pretty green in the profession and with very limited background knowledge based simply on 2 separate years of teaching in the classroom. Or on the other hand, you may already be maybe in a charter system where you were able to enter the principalship already, and now you just need to follow up with your credentials to show that you are a certified principal. And in that case, you would have a much different set of background knowledge and skills. So each person needs to consider that although the program will prepare you on what I would say a fairly surface level to be successful on this exam, each of you needs to find out where you need to dig in and get much deeper because you lack background knowledge or experiences in certain areas. The next question, in which of the following contexts do you need to broaden your understanding? Early childhood, elementary, middle, high school, urban, suburban, and rural school settings. I think this question sometimes catches people off guard because, again, coming from your background knowledge, you may feel that you know a tremendous amount, and you likely do. But the exam is measuring if you could be a school leader in any setting, not just the setting in which you're familiar. So perhaps you're a high school person and you know very little about early childhood. Or perhaps you are in a rural setting and you are unfamiliar with the challenges associated with an urban setting. Or we could flip those questions, obviously, and have the opposite question. So you need to be familiar with all of the grade arrangements, I guess you might say, ages and stages of students, and the expectations of the campuses that are there to provide them with their support and readiness for the next level, and also with the settings of the school itself in terms of rural and urban, suburban, and also I would add the challenges associated with poverty, which are somewhat universal, but also very important in the measurement of your readiness to be a school leader. And the last question is, how are you planning to revisit this manual to monitor your progress? So remember, this is an exam that's going to measure your readiness at the end. It's not going to measure if you're almost ready. Well, I guess it will measure if you're almost ready. That's not the results you want. You don't want the score to come back and say you're almost ready to be a principal and you almost passed. That's not your goal, right? So I just wanted you to be aware of these questions before we dig in any deeper. This is an introduction to the manual and what you need to do to be prepared for the exam. Each of you should be considering a study plan, a game plan for yourself, and you should be able to chart out when you hope to take the exam and what you need to do to be ready for that exam. And all of that involves knowing yourself. Know thyself, right? Knowing yourself and your areas of strength and perhaps some of your blind spots where you might need a little extra help in preparation to be prepared for the exam. So thank you for watching this video. I'll be making another one to go with step 2.